students. Production support for Ohio Educational Broadcasting Award-winning News 6 has come from Whirlpool Corporation's Findlay Division, working to make your life a little easier. Additional support has come from the Northwest Ohio Educational Technology Foundation and from this public television station.
I'm Chris Hefner.
And I am Amy Holland.
We're students at Perry Elementary School in Lima, Ohio. Here's what you're going to see today on News 6.
A different type of horse racing, some important volunteers, and corsages made by hand.
Hi and welcome to News 6. I'm Dory Brown from Perry Elementary School in Lima, Ohio. Here with our first story is Travis Mumford.
Unlike many fire departments in bigger towns, the Perry Township Fire Department is staffed by volunteers. When the alarm goes off, they stop whatever they're doing and become firefighters. We visited the men and women who are always there when Perry needs them.
Being a volunteer firefighter is a real full-time job. It takes a lot of people here in Perry Township to run our volunteer fire department. One of these people is paramedic Daryl Starr. Mr. Starr, how did you become a firefighter?
Well, when I was a young boy, I wanted to always be a firefighter. I've watched in a little town that I grew up in, watched fire trucks go out and everything like that. So when I became of age at 18, I went and took the training and became a firefighter.
How many calls do you guys do in a year?
We're averaging probably about 125 fire runs a year and right around 400 rescue runs a year.
How many people does it take to run a fire hose?
On the fire hose itself, we usually have 2 to 3 people, but we usually have to have about 20 to 30 people at a fire scene to do all the things that are required.
How about a rescue?
Rescue run, we like to keep like 4 people in the ambulance.
4?
And about 4 or 5 other people around to get equipment and things like that.
What happens when a call comes in?
We get notified by the people here at the station, and people come down here at the station, pick up the equipment that's needed, like fires, all the fire trucks will go, or if it's rescue, one of the ambulances will go.
Why did you become a firefighter?
I think it's just something that, I grew up with. Something I wanted to do.
This week's program is being produced by the 6th grade at Perry Elementary. Perry Township is located just southeast of Lima. It was established in December of 1833. The first settlers were the Ridenauers, who established their home in what is now Perry Township in 1830. Around the turn of the century, Perry was the site of one of the region's most prosperous oil fields.
People buy flowers for many reasons. We use them to make each other happy on special days. Everyone knows that flowers are pretty to look at, but there's more to making flower arrangements than you might think. Here's a lady who works hard doing just that.
I'm Mary Starr, and I thought I would show you how to make corsages, because that's one of the first things you will be ordering from school when you get in the 7th, 8th grade. I know it starts early nowadays. Our roses that we use for corsages are these little tiny roses. And when we get those in, they're wrapped up in paper like this, and that's how the trucks bring them in to us. And we get several trucks a week coming in. So we get them this way. We cut the bottoms of the stems off so the water will go up in the stems, and we stick them down in a bucket of water. And then when we're ready to work on them, we start from there. First thing we do is cut them off, something in that order. And this particular one wanted blue baby's breath with hers. So we put the blue baby's breath on like this, and a leaf on this way, and then we start taping. This tape is not sticky tape. See, you kids want to feel it? It's not sticky at all. It's called florist tape, and when we put it on something, you have to stretch it. And these wires, these are real thin wires that we use on corsages. Now we have about 6 different thicknesses of wire we use, and all different flowers use different size wires. Because if we use one of these thin wires on a carnation, it wouldn't even hold it in place. But you can't use the real heavy wire on these little dainty flowers, or that doesn't work either. After we get them all together, this is what they look like, all finished up.
Star's Florist Shop has been in business since 1924. They take special care in making the arrangements just right for each customer.
Horse racing has been an exciting sport for a long time. It's easy to see what goes on during the race, but Bernie Smith shows us some of the special care that racehorses need behind the scenes.
You don't have to race horses from a saddle. You can take a ride with me as New 6 looks at harness racing.
Mr. Smith, how long have you been training horses?
About 31 years.
Why did you get started?
Oh, I always had the urge, but I wanted to wait till my family got growing, but I never did. I got in a little quicker than I should have.
What is the difference between training harness racing horses and thoroughbred horses?
Well, harness racing horses, we hitch them to a cart or a bike and drive them, and thoroughbreds, you ride them. Like jockeys, you know, in saddles.
What do you feed the horses?
Oh, we feed them hay, and most of them feed them oats and a little corn, and I feed mine a mixed feed, a sweet feed. They call it sweet feed. It has all the vitamins and everything in it a horse needs.
Where do you race your horses?
Well, we race them in Toledo right now, but we always race them. We race in Michigan, we race down Scioto, and down to Lebanon, and even down to Latonia, and even in Chicago.
How many races have you won?
Well, I got a lot of blankets. I don't know how many.
That's all for this edition of News 6. Join us next week when we travel to Ohio City Liberty School.
Production support for News 6 has come from Whirlpool Corporation's Findlay Division, working to make your life a little easier. Additional support has come from the Northwest Ohio Educational Technology Foundation and from this public television station.